3 years after the start of production, the model underwent modernization, see photo, during which not only the appearance and interior were changed, but also the electrics. It has become much more perfect. The control of the car's electronics was assigned to the central switching unit, PPM, and the usual electrical wiring was replaced by a modern multiplex bus. The PPM is programmable, thanks to which it is possible, for example, to teach the radio to change the sound volume depending on the speed of the car, or to set any mode of operation of the interior lighting. At the same time, the pulp and paper mill does not accept the intervention of unskilled electricians. Most of the Xsaras operated in Ukraine were supplied by an official importer, so the cars, as a rule, were serviced at a company service, which is a guarantee of the quality of the work performed. You should not worry about the susceptibility to the red disease. The car body is galvanized and the company gave it a 10-year guarantee against through corrosion. Salon Xsara will not surprise you with any designer frills. At the same time, having settled in it, you feel almost home comfort. In part, this is facilitated by rather soft seats, profiled without pronounced lateral support, which, however, may not appeal to lovers of active driving. Comfortable to get behind the wheel help adjust the height and depth of the steering column. A comment can only be caused by the lack of height adjustment of the driver's seat in the basic configuration. Visibility is limited only when reversing. The too high lower edge of the glass interferes, due to which the extreme dimensions of the car are not visible. The equipment of the basic version includes immobilizer, central locking, front power windows, power steering, electric adjustment of exterior mirrors and radio. By the way, the ease of use of the latter is increased by the control buttons duplicated on the steering wheel. It is worth mentioning that Peugeot and Citroe are related companies united in the PSA concern, so the models of these manufacturers have a lot in common: engines, transmissions, some suspension parts, interior, etc. In particular, Xsara was equipped with the same engines as Peugeot 306. The longer-produced Xsara also got new HD turbo diesels with a common rail direct fuel injection system with a volume of 1.4 L, 70 horsepower, 2.0 L, 90 horsepower, 2.0 L, 109 L, which was subsequently equipped with Peugeot 307. True, in Ukraine, Xsara with such engines is practically never found, as, indeed, with simpler turbo diesels. It's a pity, because PSA engines running on diesel fuel are considered reliable and, according to experts, can go out for about 500,000 kilometers. More often cars with gasoline engines under the hood come across, and the most powerful 2.0-liter ones are also rare, since they are intended for charged coupes, VTI versions. If the 8-valve car engine is too noisy at idle, then most likely it's time to adjust the thermal clearances of the valves. Work at a specialized service costs about $15. But in 16-valve engines, this is not necessary. They use hydraulic lifters. According to the experience of service workers, it is recommended to control the gaps every 70 to 80,000 kilometers when replacing the timing belt and rollers. The belt also drives the water pump, so during the procedure it is worth checking the condition of the pump. On average, she nourishes 2 to 3 timing belt service life. It is advisable to pour fuel into the tank only at proven gas stations. The fact is that gasoline engines are very susceptible to fuel quality, and the catalyst suffers first, and then the lambda probe fails, non-original part, about $100. Experts do not recommend washing Xsara engines. It is easy to fill with water and disable the ignition coil. The spare part costs about $200. If you're an automatic transmission aficionado, look elsewhere, as most Xsaras are equipped with a 5-speed manual. According to the reviews of the owners, this unit pleases with the high clarity of gear shifting. In addition, the mechanics are quite reliable and practically do not require maintenance. The oil is designed for the entire life of the car, unless, in case of leaks, it is necessary to add lubricant to the required level. A characteristic place where over time, after about 100,000 kilometers, oil can flow is the gearshift seal. Repairs will cost $46, labor and parts. When buying a car, it is advisable to check the anthers of the CB joints. Operating a car with the torn anther leads to the failure of the grenade, which in Xsara changes in assembly with the axle shaft. And this pleasure is not cheap. Even a factory restored part in France costs about $130. So, in order to dispel the last doubts of incredulous motorists, we emphasize once again that Xsara is equipped with a McPherson front suspension and a torsion bar rear suspension. exactly the same as on the Peugeot 306. Compared to competitors, the Frenchwoman suspension is distinguished by an enviable energy intensity and allows you to comfortably move on uneven roads. Moreover, thanks to the use of soft silent blocks of the torsion beam, the rear suspension has a steering effect. It's a pleasure to take sharp turns on the Xsara. The rear wheels turn a little in the direction of the turn, helping to pass it more confidently. When servicing the suspension, especially the rear, only branded spare parts should be used. When installing non-original silent blocks, the torsion beam loses the steering effect. After 30 to 40,000 kilometers of driving on our roads, you will have to change the front stabilizer struts. Work for one side, $8, spare parts, $26, but silent blocks of levers can go out about 50 to 60,000 kilometers. For one side, labor $31, parts $24 for rear and $10 for front. By the way, replacing the rear silent blocks of the front levers requires a qualified approach. If the gum is not installed correctly, even 5,000 kilometers will not last. It is very important to maintain the rear suspension in a timely manner. Every 80,000 kilometers, the torsion bar needle bearings need to be replaced. Work, $55. A set of spare parts, $46. If you ride on killed bearings, you can disable the entire beam. The rack and pinion steering on all Xsaras has good feedback and is a joy to drive. On all versions, it is equipped with the hydraulic booster. This is a reliable unit. Even the tie rod ends nurse 50 to 60,000 kilometers. For durable operation of the amplifier, it is necessary to change the working fluid every 60,000 kilometers. There are no special remarks to the brake system. It serves flawlessly. Most versions have ventilated front disc mechanisms and rear drum mechanisms. Rear disc brakes were installed only on powerful 16-valve versions. Often there is an ABS system. Citroe Xsara is a car for those who want to make friends with a real Frenchwoman, seductive and incendiary. Those who get to know her better are unlikely to want to stop communicating. In addition, Mademoiselle is not too demanding. The cost of the car is lower than many of its competitors, and not capricious. Malfunctions occur quite rarely.